Hey, what is up, mortals? It is zor-el here, and before we get into today's video, there's something I'd like to say. I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, if this video hits 500 likes by the end of the week, we will continue this what if. Thirdly, if you guys didn't know, only 41.3% of you are subscribed to us, so please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the story. After the demise of the symbol of peace, Deku lost a bit of his personality. He was depressed and wasn't his usual self. The young hero didn't try to argue with his mom when she informed him of his unenrollment from UA. Deku felt empty inside. He struggled to cheer himself up. The boy laid there in his hospital bed and waited for his surgery to begin. He had no idea what was going to happen to him during the operation. Deku sat there while he felt fear shiver down his spine as he tried not to think about the surgery. He was caught off guard from his mother, who surprised him. "Hi, Izuku! Good morning, my son!" Inko gave him a light hug so she wouldn't accidentally injure Deku. "Oh, hey, Mom, good morning! What are you doing here?" Deku was confused. He thought his mom would come visit after the surgery, not before it. "I know you've been feeling down and acting all gloomy lately, so I wanted to visit my baby early." She smiled at her boy. Inko was happy to see how grown up Deku was. While the two waited for the doctor to arrive, they chatted for a bit. Inko told Deku they'd attend All Might's funeral that will occur in a few weeks. Deku had enough time to recover until then, but he was really worried about what he would do for school, though. The boy muttered to himself and thought about the possibilities he should do to train, where to attend school, and wondered if Gran Torino would let him train. The doctor stepped in through the door and apologized for possibly interrupting him. It was time for Deku to undergo the operation. Inko was permitted to watch the surgery, but she humbly refused. She didn't want to disturb the doctors while they worked. Inko decided to wait in the lobby while they were in the operation room. Before the surgery started, Deku noticed a cybernetic arm. It was a dark color which illuminated the room as the light shined on it. The arm looked very heavy-duty. Deku prayed to himself and hoped this wouldn't hurt. "Don't worry, Izuku. You're in good hands." The doctor looked at him and gave Deku a light smile, so he could feel comfortable. Deku was ready and no longer felt scared. They laid him on top of the surgical bed. The doctors continued to set up and made preparations for the operation. Sharp needles were injected into his right arm. It was anesthesia. This helped Deku not feel any pain and his body felt numb. Deku slept through the operation. By the time he woke up, he was in his hospital room again. The surgery felt like it happened in an instant. Deku realized he was alone, until he heard the doctor and his mom in the halls while they had a small chat. Deku glanced at his arm to check on it. He was startled to see the same cybernetic arm attached onto him. "Did they replace my arm? How interesting." Deku was amazed with the cool arm. He was able to feel and touch things. He felt little sensations as he touched the blankets and himself. Deku was preoccupied with himself as he continued to touch things. He didn't notice his mom and the doctor who walked in on him. The doctor greeted Deku and asked how he felt. Deku jumped and covered his face in embarrassment. "Greetings, Midoriya. I hope I'm not interrupting something." The doctor chuckled after he watched Deku curiously test his arm out. "Oh, it was nothing. So, what's the situation?" Deku wanted to learn more about what happened in the surgery. "Well, as you may have noticed, we gave your right arm a cybernetic replacement. I hope it feels comfortable." "It's comfortable, it's just weird to see it, that's all. That arm of yours was severely damaged, so we had no choice but to replace it. I hope you don't mind it. I do apologize for not telling you this earlier. We didn't want to scare you or anything." The doctor felt a little guilty because he didn't share the whole truth about Deku's surgery. "No, that's okay. I completely understand and there's no reason to apologize. I'm just very shocked to see an artificial replacement. The arm was designed specifically for you. It's made to adapt with your quirk, so there's no need to worry about damaging it. The arm is very durable as it's made of titanium. Your quirk should be able to enhance its strength and durability. It will take time to get used to it, but it will feel like it's a part of you now. Your nerves are connected into the arm, and sensors were implemented into it, which allow your ability to feel things whenever you touch something. I'm pretty sure you've met him before, but do you know David Shield? The doctor walked around the room as he explained the details to Deku. Oh yeah, we met before. All Might took me to Island to meet him. David Shield made the design for your arm. He was devastated about All Might's death. He thought he could create this arm as a gift for you. He also said that if the arm ever gets damaged, he can upgrade it for you. For now, that's all you've got. Deku had tears that ran down from his eyes. He wiped them away and smiled. You'll be able to continue your hero work at school, but don't push yourself too hard. We'll never get something like this again, so you should be thankful. Deku nodded and told the doctor he was grateful for this wonderful gift. The doctor left the room so he could allow Inko to talk with her son for a while. After a few days of rest and rehabilitation, Deku was released from the hospital. He was able to go home, but he unfortunately wasn't able to attend UA anymore. School was cancelled for a while, so people could go to All Might's funeral. Deku had a couple of extra days to rest until then. During those days, Deku went through rehabilitation. He's done many things to get back in good health. He began to do some light training, like push-ups at home or a light jog. The days went by and Class 1A was very different. Their behavior was abnormal. They weren't like their usual selves. The atmosphere around them felt dead and empty, without Deku and without All Might. The class was less cheerful and enthusiastic. Since school was cancelled for 2 weeks, they couldn't train for the provisional license exam or create ultimate moves. Time finally came for All Might's funeral. Thousands of people showed up. The pro heroes, people of UA, government officials, fans, and many more. They all gathered for this dreadful moment. Many people cried in agony, and a deep depression hit the atmosphere. Deku stood along with his mother, Gran Torino, David and Melissa Shield, Recovery Girl, Principal Nezu, Aizawa, and Tsukauchi. They were the closest to All Might. Some people in UA were grouped with them, such as Class 1A. Uraraka and Ida spotted Deku from afar. They tried to call for him, but were ignored. Deku couldn't bring himself to look at his friends or his former class. He felt like he was a burden to them and distanced himself from his friends and fellow classmates. The funeral came to an end, and everyone made their way back home. Let's go get something to eat, honey. Inko thought dinner would cheer up this depressing mood. She didn't like how gloomy the world felt on that day. This gave rise to darkness. Villains had the opportunity to wreak havoc on society. A few days went by. Deku trained lightly in the living room. He lifted a couple of reps with 15-pound dumbbells. While Deku trained, he watched the television of a live broadcast which reported a sudden rise in crime rate. The villains were more active. Deku knew he needed to get back to school and train immediately. He heard the door open and turned to see his mom come back home with some good news. Hey son, I came back with some exciting news! Inko was eager to share the news. What is it, Mom? Deku turned to see his mom act all cheerfully. I'm sorry for taking you out of UA, so to make it up for you, I had you enrolled in another school, which is as prestigious as UA. It's called Shiketsu High. Shiketsu High? But that's in the West! I would love to go, but are you sure, Mom? Deku had second thoughts about this opportunity. He was willing to attend Shiketsu, but wasn't sure if this was right. How did you get me into Shiketsu High? Deku was very interested in Shiketsu High, as he'd heard a lot about it. I had help from your ex-homeroom teacher, Aizawa and Gran Torino. They recommended you and the school accepted it. They also helped me file the paperwork so you'll start very soon. They want you to attend your school, Izuku! Inko was very excited to get Deku and his drive back. Deku accepted this and thanked his mother, who continued to show love and support him. He went outside to get some fresh air, but was surprised to see someone outside waiting for him. Before we get back into the story, I would like to say that we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes over the hard facts of the anime presented. Now, in case you guys didn't know, we have a third channel called We the Celestial Naruto What If, We the Celestial Naruto What If mainly focuses on our Naruto What If series. If you are interested in content like this, please go check the description below or click the eye icon at the top right corner. Now with that out of the way, let's get back to the story. The person who waited outside for Deku was his old childhood friend, Bakugo. Bakugo wasn't alone either. Kirishima, Ida, and Uraraka were there as well. Kachan, what are you doing here? Deku frowned and felt great amounts of shame. He didn't expect to see them again and didn't want to, ever again. Shut up, you idiot! These morons were worried for you and wanted to see you. Bakugo pointed out to the others who were happy to see him. However, before they could even say anything else, they all noticed Deku's right arm. It was a dark, black arm which shone in the sun. They were stunned and asked him how he was doing. They explained to Deku how the whole class had tried to visit him in the hospital, but he was no longer there. His friends tried to contact him, but Deku ignored their calls and texts. The class resorted to ask Bakugo where Deku lived. Bakugo refused at first, but he gave in because it started to annoy him. Hurry up and catch up with all of them, stupid Deku! Bakugo, annoyed to see Deku's dumb face again, slowly walked up to him. Deku feared that Bakugo was going to harm him like he did before. Instead, Bakugo whispered to Deku's ear in a serious tone. Look, we need to talk, so hurry up and meet me downtown. Bakugo backed away and tried to hide what his intentions were when Kirishima asked him, what was that all about? Just shut up, will you? Bakugo was himself again. The last time Deku saw him, he was extremely quiet. Deku, we were all worried for you! Why didn't you answer my calls or texts? Uraraka hugged Deku very passionately. She really missed him. At first she didn't realize what she's doing. When her senses came back, Uraraka turned red. Both Deku and her were flustered. They both jumped away in embarrassment. Sorry about that. No, that's okay. Deku looked away and felt very embarrassed. He can't believe he just hugged a girl. Although it was Uraraka who hugged him, really. Ah, it's good to see you again, young Midoriya. In good health, too. Ida shook Deku's hand and asked how he was doing. The same old Ida, concerned for his former classmates' well-being. I'm doing well, you guys. I'm sorry about not answering back your calls or texts. I just have a lot on my mind lately. Deku sulked in sadness, which brought to Ida and Uraraka's attention. That's all right, Midoriya. I know you aren't doing well, but just remember, we're your friends. We're here for you. Ida stared at Deku, only to give him a short smile. I can't... I don't want to be a burden. I caused All Might's death. If it wasn't for me stepping in, he would still be here with us. He was too distracted, which caused All Might to get impaled by All for One. I can't have you guys see me like this. Deku felt shame and was overwhelmed with grief. Ida and Uraraka tried to comfort him and support him. They forgave Deku and let him sob. They made a group hug and waited for Deku to calm down. Bakugo and Kirishima were hidden and listened to the conversation. My mom was worried for me. She didn't want me to be in any danger anymore. Deku finally calmed down and turned to Ida and Uraraka. Unfortunately, that's why I'm no longer going to UA. It's too dangerous for me, and it would be safer to go somewhere else. She's right, but I didn't want to leave. I couldn't bring myself to argue with her. Ida and Uraraka listened to him. They understood the situation. What school are you going to attend? I'm going to the west, Shiketsu High. Everyone in the vicinity were astonished. Ida and Uraraka couldn't believe what they just heard. They asked Deku about his arm and were relieved that he would be alright. Uraraka thought it was cool and asked if she could touch it. The group finished with their conversation. Before the two left, they wished Deku good luck. They hoped they could see each other again soon. They planned with Deku to hang out soon. He agreed and was happy to see them for the last time. Deku went back inside his house to get ready and meet up with Bakugo. Deku made his way to the train station and boarded the train. While he was on the train, many people recognized him. "Oh my god, you're the boy that fought with All Might!" someone said to him. Deku suddenly was crowded with people who asked him many questions. Deku tried to brush off the questions, and as soon as the doors opened, he began to dash through. He didn't want any trouble, but Deku wondered, what was all that about? Deku continued to walk to where he was supposed to meet Bakugo. As Deku continued to walk down the streets, he heard Bakugo call him. "Oi! Deku! Over here, you idiot!" Bakugo was seated on a bench across the street from him. Deku made his way towards Bakugo. He wanted to ask what Bakugo wanted to talk about, because this was the first time they had met to socialize. "This isn't what you think this is, you clown!" Bakugo and Deku walked together for a bit, but he turned to Deku with a serious look on his face. "Tell me, Deku, what's your relationship with All Might?" Deku knew he had to tell him the truth. He feared about the outcome once Deku came clean. He had no choice but to tell Bakugo the truth about him, All Might, and the history of One for All. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Now there are a few more things that I would like to go over before the video ends. On behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer for this video, as well as the editors for this video. Their details will be in the description. If you're a voice actor, editor, writer, or you're interested in becoming one of these, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up the head of one of those areas. We're always looking for new members to join us. That's it from us for today's video, so thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit that like button if you like this video. Until next time, peace out, mortals, have an amazing day.